Hi, I'm Detective Unknown.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Backflip.
And I'm Inspector Home Run.
And we're the Teenage Super Sleuths, myth-busting some of today's greatest scientific hoaxes.
This is Johnny on the Spot, science reporter for the Real News Network. You won't find any fake news here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. All characters and events in this show, even though based on real people, are entirely fictional. All celebrity voices are impersonated poorly. We're coming to you today from the Batcave. The Teenage Super Sleuths have had to go into hiding because of the scientific discoveries that they have been making are a threat to the status quo. This is Johnny on the Spot, science reporter for the Real News Network. And Detective Unknown has sent me a cryptic message. Current CO2 is 410 parts per million. CO2 has been as high as 7,000 parts per million. The Earth fell into an ice age when CO2 was 4,000 parts per million. CO2 has never caused Kagawa. Never. Actually, I think what that means is catastrophic anthropogenic global warming, but that's scientific language. Temperatures never get materially above 22 degrees C for an extended period. Life thrives, including coral reefs, when CO2 is high. Plants and dependent life die when CO2 falls below 180 parts per million. Those are his messages that he wanted me to convey. But let's go find out exactly what does all this mean.
Dr. Tim Ball, an historical climatologist, sent me one sentence, which I think is beautiful to end this particular topic if you want to go on to others. He said, "You can mention that it was warmer than today for at least 95% of the last 10,000 years."
Actually, 90% of the time since creation, the Earth was warmer than it is now, because the geological evidence indicates that over all of geologic history, 4.65 billion years, somewhere between 5 and 10% of that time was there any substantial ice on Earth. And now there is. There's Greenland, Antarctica, and then summer ice all over the planet, well, lots of places. So you're talking 5 or 10% of the time was the planet cooler than it is now.
Oh, okay. So you're telling me you've got some evidence to prove this? Well, tell me, Detective Unknown, what exactly is this that you sent me? You're telling me that this chart proves what those scientists say? And so what you have here is you have a chart that goes back 600 million years, almost a half a billion years plus in data? You're getting this from geological samples?
Yes, we're getting this from geological samples.
And so you have CO2 over here, and you have time down here, and you're telling me that everything those scientists just said was true?
Yes, everything the scientists just said.
That's hard to believe because you know that's the exact opposite of what Al Gore's been telling me.
Of course.
But this is what. So we've got temperature down here, right? This is temperature, and then we've got CO2, and so back here, CO2 has been as high as 7,000 parts per million, and temperatures weren't running away. They weren't getting real bad. And then right here, you're telling me that CO2 was 4,000 parts per million, and we fell into an ice age?
Yes.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not very good at math, but I think 4,000 parts per million, that's 10 times the level it is today, isn't it?
That is 10 times the level of CO2 today.
And so this is CO2 over time. We're down here at the very bottom of the CO2. It looks to me like we're in a shortage of CO2.
Yeah, we're in a shortage of CO2 at the moment.
And you're telling me that CO2 or plants die when CO2 gets below 180 parts per million?
Yes.
So we're actually near the level where plants could actually start dying in reality, and we're nowhere near what CO2. Matter of fact, CO2 declined over the last 600 million years, and temperatures never got above 22 degrees C for any material time. Maybe you had a little blip here, but that to me looks like for the vast majority of time, temperatures have been well above where they are today.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, well above where they are today.
Wow. And so those scientists, everything they said was true. But why aren't we being taught this in our science classes?
Because the men in black.
I guess so. This is like some kind of a science conspiracy, making sure that we'll never know this information, because I have a feeling that if this kind of information gets out, things could go really wrong.
Things could go really
And
wrong.
so,
if this
so
information
people
got
had better join your secret science society, but to keep it secret, because this is the kind of information like the CIA. They'd want to make sure that they would want to know anybody who knows this information. So keep it secret. What is that noise? Did you hear that?
FBI, open up.
Holy cow! They're here! Everybody run!